Amish children don't get cancer, diabetes, or autism, while mainstream Americans are dying in record numbers. What? No way. So this article says apparently the Amish community, which is like 400,000 individuals, they are against CDC guidelines and they are, I guess, anti-vax. And their lifestyle, obviously, if you know the Amish community, is very restricted. Not restricted, it's limited, right? They're very simple. Simple. We'll go with simple. And apparently that community, 500,000 people, almost 500,000, 400,000, I think, doesn't get diabetes, doesn't get cancer, and it doesn't get autism. That's crazy. And if this is true, then why aren't more people doing that, living that sort of very simple lifestyle and being anti-vax? But let's dive into it. Apparently, it says 100% of those individuals in that community that were unvaxxed have no record of this in their family, right? Diabetes, autism, what have you. Amish typically have 7 kids, which that's crazy. I don't think my wife could handle any more kids than we already have. That's like being pregnant for, 5 years. You do the maths. But 7 kids, and there is 100% chance, pretty much, that you don't have any of these disorders or cancers or, leukemia in children. Sign me up. The community is the healthiest in the nation. And the COVID deaths, when that was going on, is it still going on? It changes, but I don't even know. I feel like it just fell to the wayside. Like, it's probably still a thing for a lot of people. I see people with masks, walking around, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That's still kind of a thing, I guess. But anyway, in the Amish community, those deaths were 90% lower than everybody else in the population. Interesting. The article goes straight into the idea that they are like this because they don't listen to the CDC, right? That's the big argument here in this article. The CDC apparently has been harming families for decades, and just big pharma has been hurting your community, your family, and killing. And that may be true. That may be true. But, I don't know. I'm not a research specialist. It says not a single child in that community has developed cancer. Are you serious? That's awesome. If it can be proven. Which the problem with this article is it's not proven. So I was diving down this rabbit hole and doing research on all of these claims, and there's really no numbers, right? Other than 90% of the Amish community didn't die. I couldn't find any real data that this article collected. Stephen Kirsch, I think his name is, didn't really collect data, right? So I looked up more stuff, found out that Associated Press did a fact check on Stephen Kirsch's article. And their title of their article is, "No, Amish kids aren't immune to cancer or diabetes and autism, and they aren't vaccine-free either." Okay, so let's look at this a little bit. Their assessment of Stephen Kirsch's article is that it is false. There's no evidence to support his claims that the Amish community is free of all of these ailments. They, at different levels, have some degree of vaccines, right, when they're kids. I think it's like 14% of the Amish community takes their children in for vaccination. Stephen Kirsch is a Silicon Valley executive, and we all know like how that ended. And now he has become like, I guess, an anti-vax activist. And in his testimony, because apparently this went to trial, his claims about the Amish community, in his testimony, he said that all of his data was collected by speaking to the Amish community, talking to them, asking them, hey, y'all got a lot of cancer? How many of you have diabetes? How many of your children have autism? And he came to his own conclusions. He also offered a $2,500 reward for people that had information like this in the Amish community, like people that know who had cancer, how many people had cancer, diabetes, autism. I'm like, that's not how you do research, bub. You gotta do the groundwork. You gotta put your feet to the pavement and figure it out. Crunch some numbers. He said, you just don't find the cancer. You just don't find it. When you're in the Amish community or talking to these people, you just don't see them with cancer. I'm like, I'm fine with you making big claims like this. I'm fine with people being anti-vax. I'm fine with people being pro-vaccination and whatever. Just don't get too crazy with it on either side. I'm like, I don't want to fucking hear it. But when you make a claim and post an article about it and write about it, I mean, back it up. Because I'm reading this and I'm all excited. I'm going to get rid of my cell phone. I'm going to bring my kids into bumfuck Nowheresville, Pennsylvania, and just start living that life. But none of his facts are really backed up. And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't really jump the gun like that. I'm just saying, like, my brain was like, maybe I should limit my lifestyle. And I probably should regardless. So, this article from Associated Press concludes that the Amish community has, albeit lower levels of all of it, right? Lower levels of death through COVID-19, lower levels of cancer, lower levels of diabetes, autism. They do. Associated Press admits that. The Associated Press attributes their lower levels of cancer, diabetes, COVID-19 deaths to the lifestyle and genetics, right? Generations and generations of active, farm folk. And I mean, that seems legit. I can get down with that. So the first article got me all excited. I was going to be Amish. Second article told me no. I should still live the life I'm living. I'm going to put both of the articles in the description so you can just come up with your own conclusions. Like and subscribe if you, I guess, had a good time with me. And eat your spinach.